Hey everybody, it's Busy Little Bee. Welcome back to my channel. Kalari had a rough weekend. She had a long media tour of a weekend. I guess she was on Jan's Views. I have no idea what they talked about because I don't go over to that side. Jan's a little kooky in my opinion, and I'd just rather not interact. But Kalari put out a video yesterday on Sunday, and it was a feel bad for me crying, oh, I'm so a victim kind of bullshit. So we're going to go through, we're going to talk a little bit about what she's talking about, and then I have to because I'm petty, but this woman is always bragging about being a published author, yet she can't speak basic words. She calls caveats caveats. She calls preface preface. She calls, I think the other one was infantize instead of infantilize. They're silly little things, but I gotta be petty, right? Plus, I'm trying to make this kind of funny because it seems like Kalari went from, I have this mental illness, which I'm a diagnosed sociopath because this doctor used a psychopathic traits list, not sociopathic, psychopathic checklist to diagnose me as a diagnosed sociopath. She's now claiming she was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. She has never said that before. She's always said, oh, I had schizophrenia, and then it got moved up to schizoaffective disorder. I'm not in mental health. I don't know if that's possible. That's what she said, though. This video is trying to get people yet again to stop talking about her multiple fraudulent GoFundMes. And the fact that she was running around calling everyone else grift gang while she was living like that for more than a decade. That's the entire reason you got any kind of attention from anybody, Kalari. It wasn't because of who you watched. It wasn't because of your mental illnesses. It wasn't because you couldn't stand up and put your socks on without falling over. It wasn't because you were trying to flex on Chantal, though that was kind of part of it, let's be real. But mostly, it's because you're out here calling everyone else what you are. The definition of a hypocrite. You call everyone else grift gang, and yet you lied about so much shit. We haven't even got to all the lies yet. But let's go ahead and hear how Kalari's going to spin this so that she, yet again, is the victim and we know nothing. Even if you are a psychiatrist by trade, guess what? You'll never understand her.
This is a mental health vlog for 2024. I just want to get some things off my chest. Nothing about the YouTube stuff. I started the mental health vlog a few years back because I wanted to be more open about stuff. I wanted to be as honest as I could be, to give a face to those who handle this and live with this.
So you guys, this is only about mental health. It's clearly got nothing to do with YouTube or any of the things that people have been talking about lately. No, don't think that.
One of the things that I've had people launch at me is, you don't seem like you have what you have, which is schizoaffective disorder and antisocial personality disorder, which has the traits. And I was told to my face by a clinical psychiatrist that I have sociopath tendencies.
So first of all, there's a difference between tendencies or personality disorder. So you can have, like lots of people, especially a lot of the people we watch, have a lot of narcissistic traits. But that doesn't mean they necessarily have narcissistic personality disorder. Or they may have sociopathic traits. That doesn't mean they necessarily have antisocial personality disorder. I personally think that what Kalari has said on this, and the fact that she, according to her doctor used a psychopathic traits checklist to diagnose Kalari with what she called sociopathy. But that would fall under antisocial personality disorder, which she never, ever, ever said before. So, like, all of this has only come up, this ASPD thing has only come up in the last couple of weeks since we've been calling her out. It's fucking crazy, dude. And the psychopath is not the same as the sociopath. Those are two very different things. And she even says that later on. She's like, oh, I get mad when people conflate sociopath and psychopath. Bitch, you've done it for weeks.
Because that's the thing. And I should be used to this. Because I'm used to being monolith simply because of. And yes, whether you like it or not, this is going to be about race. Because it has to be. Because the studies that people have done in the past on sociopath and psychology in general has always been keen to a standard not set by people of different cultures, people raised by different backgrounds. And it's because of that. So many come at people who can say, hey, I have this, and this is how I've handled it through life.
See, this is where my problem comes in. Like, yes, you experience life very differently as a person of color than you do as a, Caucasian person. However, I think that the culture you were raised in is the same culture many of us were raised in. You were raised in America, right? Like, yes, there are very different ways to live in America, but ma'am, a lot of us are white and poor. We grew up very poor. It seems like she's tried to put race into this whole thing as long as she could. And it's got fuck all to do with her skin color. It's got to do with her being a fucking fraud.
This world is exhausting. You try to navigate it with a mind that just point blank is blunt. Point blank just doesn't seem to understand why people have to fake their way through stuff. Point blank just wants to do your own thing, and you don't really care if you're accepted for it, but you understand that this world doesn't want to accept genuine people.
If you guys remember, Kalari came into the community throwing money at FFG and Yaba and Sam, and she was trying to pay her way in to, like, build up her channel, in my opinion. And she's mad now because she hasn't been accepted. She may have been accepted by a few kooky people, and they could have her. But me personally, the reason I started covering her is because I wanted people to see that she behaves as just like Chantal, just like Breezy, just like all these people that we talk about. And it was very clear when she thought she was flexing on fucking Foodie Beauty. All right, let's get to the next clip.
And I used to say, thank God for the internet. Because even though the internet is full of mass people too, you don't really have to know anybody on a deep or personal level unless you want to. And that was the magic of being online, and still is somewhat, but not all the time.
It's much easier to be fake behind a computer screen, isn't it, Kalari? Much easier to grift money from people when they don't see you face to face, isn't it?
I think people don't want the real of this because you have your opinions on what this is like. You have your opinions on what people go through. And that's why I'm going to preface this again. My experience is not everybody's experience with this stuff.
You would think that a published author would know how to pronounce preface. I don't know.
And unless you're one of the things that I hear, no, you do not understand what this is like. And unless you have personally gone through this, I'm sorry, even if you study this as a career, it is not the same as going through it. And when you live with something like that looming over you, and you get told by people that didn't look like you at the time you got your first diagnosis that you have this, and then you got people in your community still publishing articles saying they can't diagnose us with this. It is a confusing world to live in. You only want to see people constantly breaking down, constantly in a bad way. You are joy stealers.
I'm sorry, I had to stop it here because what the fuck? Here, let me teach you a life lesson maybe your mom should have or someone else should have. No one can take your joy unless you allow them to. Do you not understand that? Oh, yeah, you're just trying to get the whole internet to feel sorry for you. My bad. Continue.
I don't want to understand this world because I don't fit in this world. I don't want to be a part of groups because I know as I sit back and observe the way people behave. And now that I know, giving it a try, that all you end up doing is finding a way to make yourself unacceptable, I'm good with not being accepted.
All right, for those of you paying attention, yes, she has the voice going on. She is continually blinking hard, trying so hard to make a tear come out. Not one motherfucking tear. No one's buying your bullshit, Kalari.
You don't think I've had to sit quietly as I've watched people just blanket term the word sociopath, interchange it with psychopath tendencies, which I used to do?
That fucking video of you saying that you were diagnosed by your psychiatrist using a psychopathic traits checklist means you're a diagnosed sociopath. You did that. No one else fucked that up. You did that.
And even talking about it, you've got to give so many caveats that I'm not trying to give medical information. I'm just trying to share my experience.
Yes, Kalari, you need to make the caveat. You should put a disclaimer saying that I am not sharing medical information. I'm not advising anyone because you straight up claimed that you were diagnosed as a sociopath by your psychiatrist using a psychopathic traits checklist. That was your fuck up.
And I do not like being infantized by anybody.
You know I had to include that one. Infantilized is the word you're looking for, Kalari. I'm not trying to make fun. I usually don't even fucking make fun of how people talk, but it's just funny how she is so boastful about being a published author, yet can't pronounce simple words. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what this was. This was a feel sorry for me. I'm gonna try to push some tears out, not ever get one out, but you should feel bad for me and stop talking about all the fraud that I've committed. Whether I used animals, immigrants, blind people, no matter what I did, just stop talking about it because I'm having a big sad. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments, and I will see you soon with a new video. Thanks for watching.
My heart rages around like an ocean.